We try and make the simplest buildings we can, and that's actually a really hard thing to do. You know, if you think about all of the processes that you need to go through building code and costs and contractors and satisfying all the different user groups, it's hard to make a simple building. We had come up with that as just a device to really focus what it is we wanted to say, and it just stuck. The bridge is both figurative and literal, so it literally is a bridge that spans over what is the access into the site. It frames the entrance. It creates a gateway that's like a significant landmark moment in terms of entering the campus, and it connects the old and the new. Once we decided we were bridging over the road, the diagonal structure is, the obvious solution. At one point we had the vertical columns in there, and we said, look, can we make this all diagonals? We felt it created a pretty bold space, particularly in the center atrium where you actually see the braces come together as large X's. So it becomes this sort of powerful moment within the building where you see the full depth of the truss structure. In our early presentation of the building, we showed a very transparent building, which really caught on with the institution. They were very much interested in the idea of bringing in daylight, bringing the students into the light. The most efficient form of lighting for a building like this is what we call direct indirect. So there's light that's bouncing up off the ceiling, but there's also light that's dropping down directly. Dan Flavin uses a series of just fluorescent tubes to create sculptures. We felt we could create this virtual plane through these fluorescent tubes, these lightsabers. It's kind of this argyle pattern with this very dense grid of dots. We felt it was relevant here because the views from the campus, particularly to the street, was the back of the mall. The frit pattern allowed us to kind of focus where those views would be while still bringing daylight in everywhere. We said, look, we want to have a really black and white and silver palette, and it's all about the quality of light and movement. But we're going to have a few punchy areas that are about color. We do aspire to minimalism. Definitely folks like Donald Judd. We often reference James Turrell. He often makes spaces where he frames the sky, and then he creates benches or lounges at the base of that. And we wanted to make the central courtyard space really important and powerful space. So we created this bench that's really sloped on one side, which is about looking up and looking up at the sky and looking up to the library folks. Kubrick is definitely a filmmaker that fits in with the abstract expressionist movement in many ways. We've actually used references from his projects as examples of what we're interested in doing. To be frank, it often scares the clients a little bit, so you have to be careful. We try and make the architecture and the signage merge in some way. It becomes an artistic device as well that kind of enhances this minimalist design. We were interested in the idea of, as you move under that building, how is that a great experience? So as you move through, there's kind of a kaleidoscope or a visceral feeling as you move through with the stainless steel, the polished panels.